I wanted this book to be overrated so bad, but it turns out it's one of the greatest books that I've ever read. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yalmer, but you may also call me Ronnie, as you wish. And today's video, you will watch my journey of reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Let's go. Hi guys, first of all, look at my boots. I'm totally showing them off. It's my birthday gift. This Wednesday is my birthday and today is Thursday. Also, look what I got for myself. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Like, I know so many of y'all just read this book, know this book somehow. I'm so happy that I will finally be reading this. Guys, I'm on page 6 and I'm already in the story. It's crazy how fast the story captures you. Even in the prologue, I just had a favorite line ever, which is, I suppose at one time in my life I might have had any number of stories, but now there is no other. This is the only story I will ever be able to tell. Yeah, I think I'm gonna love this book, but I just know that this book is gonna make me feel very uncomfortable, but it's gonna be very great as well. I am scared. Guys, I'm on page 184 and I can just clearly say that they're all paranoid maniacs and it's in a very not aesthetic way. And all of the info dump thing is like confusing me right now. Like, it's not confusing, it's pretty clear, but it's so weird that I do not want to understand. They're pretty much of a cult that I would never be in. Like, I would just, yeah, Richard is not relatable to me at all. I would just report all of them. I wouldn't care. Guys, I'm finally reading book 2. I mean, I passed book 2 a couple pages, but anyway, I have so many thoughts about this book that I am writing many notes to my reading journal. There's so many things to mention. I did many character analyses through all the book, and I want to finish this book as soon as possible because it's incredible. Guys, now it's my favorite part of the day, which is opening my book mail because they have arrived. They're finally here, so let's go. I know the angle and the lighting is so bad, and I think this shouldn't matter that much because this is a cozy, very random reading vlog. It does not matter. Okay, here we go. The first book is by Stuart Tarton. Anyway, it's the Evelyn Hardcastle's Seven Death. I'm not sure about the English title, so I will be putting up here because I will be reading the Turkish translation version of it. And Bunny by Mona Old. Anyway, I think most of you know this. After like Secret History, I wanted to read other Dark Academia, or like, I don't know. I'm not pretty sure if it's considered as Dark Academia, but I know people who suggest this book if you like Secret History, blah blah blah. So I got this book and I will be finally reading it. It has been popular for a very long time. And the third book is Piranesi by Susanna Clark, which I'm very excited to read. I'm pretty sure I would be reading this book really fast because it's pretty short. All of those are short considered the books that I have been reading lately because all of them were huge books, and I'm used to reading like 800 or like even 1,000 page long books. Like, that is my normal right now. So all of these books are considered as short books to me. And finally, yes, Priory of the Orange Tree, which some of you will know the fact that it's one of my favorite books and it's already in my shelves, but I bought this to my friend as a birthday gift, so I'm hoping that he likes it. Yeah, has become one of my favorite books, so I want my friend to read it as well because he's also a fantasy lover. Yes, that's it. I bought 4 books, but only 3 is mine. Okay, am I the only person who hates this color? It's gonna shine a little too much in my bookshelf and it bothers me. Like, wait, let me show you. Like, I already don't have any place left. You can see that I'm putting them in front of them because I don't have any place, as I told you. Anyway, let's put these books here. I mean, it's too shiny. Do you get what I mean? It looks ugly as hell. Like, look. When you go even more far away, it looks even worse. It's not the point of the video though, so let's move on. I just seem like I have been reading the book in the same spot for hours and hours and hours, and videos shot in one day. The truth is no, guys. Like, I am just not getting out of house, and yeah, every night I'm reading this book. Not even night, and daily too, because I'm in holiday. I'm not going to school. Yeah, all I do is read and play Where Winds Meet currently. Like, my whole brain rot is this book and that game. Yeah, and if you're wondering the page that I'm currently in, it's 464, which is the fun real day. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people being so excited for the fun reel, and I am not that excited, to be honest. I've seen some people who told that they have been waiting for the fun reel, like the fun reel was a huge thing. It was the most fun part to read. I wouldn't know, so I will be knowing in a couple minutes, so I guess I will come back. Okay guys, I almost finished the book, only the epilogue episode, like the last episode left, and I swear my heart is racing so fast, as if I'm in a horror movie or something. This book is genuinely just awesome. I am surprised. I'm really out of words. I'm not trying to raise my voice because it's 1 a.m. as I told you, but like I am out of breath actually. I don't know. I cannot remember the last time that a book got me like this. What the hell? What the hell? What the helly? Oh my god. I just do have a huge headache right now, so I'm gonna sleep now. What the hell will I be talking about? There are so many things. I took so many notes, but still they're not enough. I kind of hated the fact that this book is not overrated, even slightest. Okay, I'm back again after finishing the book, and it has been almost like 2 weeks since I finished the book, and I'm currently in a very terrible reading slump, and I literally just blame The Secret History for that, because The Secret History was like almost a perfect book for me, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and it got me into a very bad reading slump. And I already want to reread The Secret History, and I cannot stop thinking about anything else. I don't know, I'm not even thinking about it anymore after 2 weeks, but it just changed my perspective of books, I would say. If you don't know about what the book is about, just in case, I will just tell you the summary without any spoilers, so don't worry. When I get to any spoilers, I will tell you, and then probably you will see the timestamps here. Our narrative, Richard gets into a very expensive college and finds himself into a very cultish, intellectual, rich, out of touch of reality friend group of the Greek major. And I would say all of those characters are very lost in the ancient world because they are so into the lessons, and at some point they're all just very paranoid. Anyway, I'm continuing. As in the first page of the book, we are told that eventually they will kill Buddy, a member of the friend group. So the whole story does not care about the question who, but it only cares about the question why and what happens after that. The book is not smart and almost perfect to me or everyone else, or it's not a modern classic because it does have a perfect plot. It is almost perfect to so many people because it is written perfectly. The language that has been used is very good. It really touches your soul. The writing is truly phenomenal, and it has uncountable metaphors in it. For example, while reading your book, you will probably miss so many metaphors because you constantly have to think about the sentences one by one, because Donatart writes some days like only one sentence in a day, and writing this book took 10 years of her life. So yeah, everything is complex, and sometimes you just read it and think that it's not a very important line, but it actually means something. For example, a character is buying a toast, which is totally normal, and you may think that it doesn't have any meaning, but Donatart truly means something through that. So she's very smart, and actually I think if you want to understand the whole book, you have to know a lot of things. But it also has many metaphors to the Greek mythology, which I am not very educated about. Sometimes I really searched about the metaphors to understand it, but I suppose it's just still not enough. Like what I said, the writing of the story is very smart, and one of the biggest reasons for that is the fact that our main character, Richard, I wouldn't say the main character because we have 6 main characters. Let's say our narrative, Richard, is an unreliable character. So you cannot just trust the main character. You cannot trust the narrative. So some things are just beyond the reader and you just have to guess it. And you never kind of know if he's telling the truth or not. Our main character is getting manipulated, and sometimes you need to realize the fact that he's getting manipulated because, the person who is manipulated doesn't realize it and he doesn't directly tell you, but when he's telling you the story, you have to understand that he's getting manipulated. And he's being lied to, but he doesn't even understand that. So in the short story, our main character Richard is getting manipulated, but also he manipulates you as well. He manipulates the reader as well. So you have to realize that both things. You have to pay attention to both of them to get the whole story correctly, if it's even possible. And another thing that I would like to mention is something that I've never seen people talk about it, but this book is actually very hilarious. I was, of course, reading a very dark book because it's about murder, it's about some kind of philosophy, mythology, and so many other dark elements, such as, I don't know, these characters are truly horrible and they're not good people. None of them are good people. But Donna Tartt doesn't forget the fact that they're only just college students, and of course they just have goofy moments. Though everything is just so screwed up, the characters are just still teenagers and they're hilarious time to time. You can see a little part of yourself in those characters, which is also a very important part of a book. Very important part of a fiction, I would say. I just do have so many things to talk about this book, but I think to understand me, you have to read this book, so I am making a spoiler part. So if you don't want any spoilers, just bye-bye. Okay, I'm here with my reading journal and I will read some of my thoughts while reading the book. The first thoughts that I wrote while reading the book is the fact that Richard is only a tool in this story. And when I say that, I mean he was able to do anything to be part of that friend group. He was so pathetic to be in that group that he defended a murder just because of the fact that he wanted to be a part of them, like truly a part of them, not just hanging out with them. He wanted to be them personally. He was jealous, but not kind of jealousy. He idolized those people so bad for no reason. And I don't think that none of them has seen Richard as a real human being or a very important part of the story. They always left him behind. I believe he was kind of ashamed of the fact that he never truly was part of the friend group, so he constantly felt like he had to lie to the reader. This second thought that I wrote in my journal is that Julian is the villain. Well, after finishing the book, I may still agree with this, but I'm not still 100% sure about it, which we will never be sure about it. While reading the book, I felt like Julian was brainwashing them, but none of them was truly realizing his impact, and none of the people in the friend group actually blamed him or realized it. So having this assumption is pretty hard. The biggest suspicious thing about Julian is the fact that he once told that he knows everything about his students and that's why he loves them. Do you really know? Like, do you know? I don't think that we can just blame one person in the story, but Julian's impact is the biggest one. They're this out of touch and out of reality because of Julian, because Julian wanted them to be this way. He did not take that seriously. It was only a metaphor to him. And of course, in a literature lesson, you can take death as a very metaphoric thing because it's literature and you can just take messages behind everything. But Julian's mistake was mixing the literature, fiction, and the real life. Very weirdly, some people also think that Julian is a real Greek god, which I don't believe. Like, I don't think that there's any mythological real figures in the story, and I don't think that they have seen anything real in the Bacchanal. My third take is the fact that Bunny is the most normal out of them, even though he's an a-hole. What I mean by this is the fact that, when you go outside, when I go to college, I can find even in 2026, I can find tons of bunnies. I believe they despited Bunny this much, not because of the fact that he's a very selfish, idiotic person, but because of the fact that he was too normal for them. And when you look at the whole societies, you can see that we hate what is different. We hate who's not like us. For example, that's why homophobia exists, that's why transphobia exists, that's why racism exists. The main issue with Bunny was not everything that I've told, it's the fact that he was too normal for them, and it pissed them off. That's why they killed him. Did Bunny deserve to die? No. No, if he was my friend, yeah, in my head I would wish death upon him, but would I really want him dead? No, absolutely not. My fourth take about the book is the fact that whole group wants to see Camilla as the victim. That's only because she's a girl. But it's kind of a hard thing to see because not only the narrative, but also almost every character wants to see her as a victim. So it's kind of hard to see her perspective, I believe. So I don't think that she's the angel that people wish to see in her. Richard's hypothermia was kind of a welcome to the friend group ritual that he didn't truly realize. It was a very nice metaphor that I could catch. What I mean by that is that Richard had to go through almost death to be included in this friend group. And it was a metaphor that, in the winter break, all of them went somewhere. They were having fun. They were going to their families. Bunny and Henry was in Italy. They were doing, whatever, But in some kind of way, Richard was left behind and he was alone. Having cold is a very common metaphor that's been used for loneliness. So, he was already alone, but having cold and having hypothermia to almost death is a very clear sign that he was almost dying out of loneliness and he truly needed that friend group. And Henry saving him was a cherry on top. People think that everything was planned and Henry did all of that to be the hero in Richard's head, but I don't think that he can ever plan something like that. I don't think Henry is smart as everyone think he is. Everyone just idolizes him. He's the kingpin. Everyone listens to him, but that's only because of the fact that he just has a very dominant personality. At least it's my opinion. I don't think that he's smart at all. For example, if you think about the poisoning plan to Bunny, you can clearly say that Henry is not smart at all. But they could have just found what happened to him and they all could have been arrested. I also took a note saying that is Richard approving Henry because he owes his life to him or just a simple idolization? And after reading the book, I would say it's both. It's both. I'm gonna say the biggest take ever. I believe Bunny is the smartest out of them. And that's also one of the biggest reasons that they were highly annoyed by this fact. Because, but hey, Bunny seems like a bad person. He's racist, he's homophobic. How could he ever possibly be smarter than all of them? But it happens. It unfortunately happens. I've seen it happen as well. Some people are just truly analytically smart, but have some very controversial opinions about anything. So being smart doesn't make you a very respectful, nice human being. Well, I wish it did, but it does not work like that also in real life. So it's kind of realistic, I would say. By the way, I wrote this, Bunny is the smartest out of them in the page 200 or 100 or between them. Anyway, so I was pretty early to predict this, but it turns out, for example, he knew everything about Charles and Camilla, their incest relationship, before anyone else. Before anyone that could ever predict it or just seen something. I know some people were kind of pissed the fact that he was right, but I wasn't. And keep going. I said, Richard feels a kind of regret only after seeing Bunny's grave. Oh, Bun, oh no, I'm so sorry. This line pissed me off so bad. Some people really almost cried to this line. Excuse me, Richard doesn't feel that way. He, after even killing Bunny, processing death is a very long process, I would say, because in the first couple of weeks, you truly do not get the fact that he's dead. You just think that, oh, he's just not here anymore, etc. But at some point, your brain just unlocks that place and tells you that, no, he's not just not there type of thing. He's dead, darling. Your brain just screams at you at some point. So I thought it could be some kind of way after seeing his grave, but I don't think so. By the way, not that pissed me off. The thing that pissed me off was the fact that he said, how can they sit and do nothing about that horrible pit? Well, they're putting him in his grave. What do you expect from them to do? I mean, you murdered him. You and your friends murdered him. And you're just yapping about the horrible pit? It's just a normal grave, darling. So he's just trying to be morally superior to us. And I'm not falling for that. There's a line that I often see online, and I don't know what to think about it. The line is, they weren't evil, they were just curious and out of touch. Well, it's true, they're not evil, but they're certainly not good as well. I mean, you can be out of touch and be a horrible human being. That's also possible because you're not really communicating with anyone. In some ways, you believe your delusions. You're just losing your mind. But, you know, I think murdering someone is a big deal. Like, even though if you're extremely out of touch, you can say that murder is wrong. Like you clearly know that it's a very huge thing and it's a very screwed up, fucked up thing that's going on. So you still do it. So I believe, like, oh, they're so pure souls. They're just manipulated by their teacher and out of touch is not correct at all. And I don't think that they're good people at all. And if you ask me, my favorite character, I would say, I thought about this too much and I'm still having a very hard time saying this. Probably Judy, by the way. Not probably. 100% Judy, but if I have to say someone out of the 6, then I have to question myself too much. It's probably Francis, but I also don't know what to think about Francis. For example, I cannot even tell if Francis assaulted Richard. I believe so many people think that it's an assault and they take it as a fact, but I don't know why. I just cannot really convince myself that it's an assault. That's gonna be very personal, but that's probably because I also had to deal with something very similar in my life and I couldn't tell if it was assault or not. Yeah, but probably that's why I just cannot tell if it's that or not. But if you say it's an assault, then I would just accept that it's an assault. But anyway, they're all just horrible people, so I would say my favorite character is still Francis. Okay, now it's time for my favorite take ever of mine. I'm proud of it. You know, Henry himself at the end of the book, and there's so many theories about it, like why did he do it? Why did he have to do it? I think there are like so many reasons because, you know, he always said that he was empty inside, so he was depressed, but I don't think that he was suicidal at all. Like, ever from the beginning to the end, he was not suicidal, but yet he still decided to kill himself. Like each of them, he was obsessed with ancient world and the Greek mythology, so I believe he wanted to be the hero in those stories, in those mythologies. It was almost a script to him, I believe. My incredible take is not this, by the way. Henry believed that blood can be only washed away with blood, so he washed Bunny's blood with his blood. Yeah, that was like the whole point, I believe. That was the whole thing, and he wanted to be a hero. He wanted to be history. He was out of touch of real world and totally consumed by ancient world. That's all for now. I certainly have so many other thoughts as well that I didn't write anything. I can talk about this book so much more, but I'm just ending this video right here because it's just taken too long. I would be very happy if you just comment something or ask me any question about the book or just any suggestions about my videos. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me. See you in the next video.